It's February 27th, 1931. Alfred Park is echoing with gunfire. A lone figure is pinned down behind a tree, trading shots with colonial police. He's surrounded, outgunned, and as he cracks open the cylinder of his revolver, he sees only one cartridge left. He is about to point that final bullet at himself. To understand a choice like that, we have to look back 11 years, to a teenager who made a very specific promise. In 1920, Chandrasekhar was just a high school student walking in step with Mahatma Gandhi's massive nonviolent non-cooperation movement. But walking in those protests quickly led to his arrest. The British brought the teenager before a colonial magistrate to log his personal details. When asked his name by the magistrate, he said Azad, meaning free, for his father's name, Swatantrata, and his residence, jail. Ordered to be publicly flogged, he yelled slogans of independence with every lash, permanently adopting the title, Azad. Then came 1922. Following violent clashes in Chauri Chauro, Gandhi abruptly pulled the plug on the entire nationwide campaign. For a teenager who had literally bled for the cause, the sudden halt to the peaceful protests left a massive ideological vacuum. Nonviolence had seemingly stalled, so Azad and his peers began looking for a sharper weapon. He channeled his frustration into the Hindustan Republican Army, joining founders like Ram Prasad Bismil to prepare for an armed insurgency. Weapons and safe houses required money. To finance their shadow war, the group targeted a colonial government treasury in transit, executing the Kakori Train Robbery in 1925. The British response was swift and ruthless. Most of the conspirators were hunted down, arrested, and sentenced, but Azad slipped entirely through the cracks. Successfully navigating the Kakori manhunt proved Azad could vanish at will. He had become an untouchable phantom, operating entirely beyond the reach of the colonial state. By 1928, with many of the original founders dead or imprisoned, Azad took the reins. He rebuilt the network into the Hindustan Socialist Republican Association, injecting a clear political vision for a future independent republic. When senior leader Lala Lajpat Rai died following a brutal police baton charge, the HSRA retaliated. They planned the assassination of a British police officer, John Saunders. Azad didn't fire the first shots. Bhagat Singh and Rajguru did that. Azad positioned himself as the rearguard. When a colonial head constable pursued his men, Azad shot him, ensuring a clean getaway for the strike team. He was evolving into a master tactician. He operated in the background, orchestrating massive strikes against the colonial state, like the attempt to derail the viceroy's own train, while evading capture himself. He even authorized the 1929 bombing of the Central Legislative Assembly in Delhi. The explosives were deliberately thrown into empty spaces to make a deafening political statement without causing fatalities. Azad had constructed a highly resilient ideological network. He was the invisible threat connecting nearly every major act of armed resistance, heavily guarded by his men and entirely untouchable by the state. Which brings us back to February 27, 1931, under the trees of Alfred Park. A tip-off finally led the heavily armed colonial police straight to the elusive architect. Even penned down, Azad executed one last tactical command. He provided a relentless wall of cover fire, holding off the police just long enough for his associate, Sukhdev, to break the perimeter and escape. The gunfire slows. He is completely isolated, bleeding, with exactly one bullet left in the cylinder. 11 years prior, he promised a British magistrate he would never see the inside of a jail cell. His name was Free. He raised the weapon to his head and pulled the trigger, dying exactly as he had lived, completely outside his captor's jurisdiction. Chandrasekhar AZAD took the shattered hopes of a peaceful movement and forged an uncompromising armed resistance. He ensured the defiant nickname of a bruised teenager became an enduring definition